Welcome to Live at 6:05. I am Dr. Amy Nussbaum. Welcome to Friday. I don't know about you, but it has been a long week, and I'm so thankful that we finally made it to Friday. And this morning, we are going to be talking about something that can really make or break your progress towards your goals, and that is accountability. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but maybe you've set goals before, whether it's been in health or at work or personal growth, but you find yourself struggling to follow through. You start strong, but a few weeks in, motivation slips and distractions creep in, consistency gets hard, and that's where accountability comes in. Maybe you've set goals before, like New Year's resolutions. Here we are, October. We're into the last quarter of the year, so this is a great time to think about where you want to go and refocus and get moving towards your goals before the end of the year. Don't wait until 2026. Go ahead and just get started now. But getting started and keep going, accountability can truly be the difference between being successful and not being successful. But accountability means having someone or some sort of system in place that helps you stay committed to what you said you would do. It's not about shame, it's not about pressure, it's about providing support, encouragement, and consistency. When you're accountable, your goals stop being just private wishes in your head and become commitments that you are actively living out. If accountability is missing, the challenge is you keep setting the same goal year after year, or month after month. You're like, okay, I'll start next month. I'll start next week. How many times have we started something on Monday only, by lunch, we're over it. But we never quite reach that goal that we set. You lose confidence in yourself because you don't follow through, and you start to prove to yourself that you are not able to. And that just builds up that subconscious thought in your brain that maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I just can't do this. Because then you start to get discouraged and you get stuck, and you really start to believe that you are not capable of change. But with accountability, you gain momentum because someone is walking with you, celebrating your progress, helping you to course correct along the way when you start to drift off track, when you start to go back to the old habits. Someone can start to notice that and say, you know what, we need to get back on track of where you want to go. So here's a few key ways accountability can make the difference. The first one is clarity. When you share your goals with someone, you're forced to make them specific and measurable, not just vague and wishes. When things live in our head, oftentimes they are pretty vague. We'd like to do this someday, and we'd like to lose weight. We'd maybe like to go back to school. We'd like to shift careers. We'd like to buy a new home, but those dreams just live in our head. They're not very specific. They're not very those SMART goals, right? They're not time bound, they're not measurable, they're just wishes. So when we start bringing another person into the picture, it has to get, you have to get more specific about where you're headed and when you want to do it and why you want to do it. So you truly get that clarity piece. And then comes consistency, because regular check-ins, whether it's weekly or every other week or monthly, those check-ins help you from putting things off. Hey, how's that going? How are you succeeding in this? How are you struggling in this? And so there's just that little voice inside your head. Okay, someone's going to be checking in with me. I need to get moving with this. Even small steps become non-negotiable when someone else is going to ask you about them. Again, not pressure, but support, and that encouragement keeps you going. And encouragement is number 3. Accountability partners remind you why you got started and help you to see progress that you might have overlooked. Because we start to see things like, oh, not that big of a deal that I accomplished that. It's like, oh, yes, that is amazing. You got all of your water in today. You got all of your steps in today. You made a phone call to learn more about that program for certification. And you can celebrate those small things. It's like, oh, yeah, I did do that. I did talk to someone in, um, in the field that I'm interested in and learned a little bit more about that. So finding that encouragement. And then course correction is the fourth one. When you get off track, instead of quitting, accountability helps you pivot and keep moving forward. Because oftentimes we get discouraged and we just sit down and we give up. And you're like, this is too hard. I can't do this. And you prove to yourself once more that you're not able. But that accountability says, no, no, we're going to sit with you for a moment, but now we're going to get back up. What's our next step? What are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing this evening? So think about athletes. They don't train alone typically. They have coaches, they have teammates, even run clubs. There's a support system that is encouraging, that keeps you going. Sometimes people are like, "Well, I just have to sign up for the next 5K because then that will keep me training." But that's what we all need when it comes to goals that really matter. So let me ask you today, where in your life do you need accountability? Is it in your health? Is it in your finances? Maybe your spiritual walk, your career goals? Identify one area that you struggle to stay consistent. Then decide who can walk with you. Maybe it's a friend, a mentor, a coach, or even a small group, maybe a coworker. Don't try to go it alone, because we've all tried to do that, and not maybe we've been successful to begin with, but then we start to fall off. And scripture reminds us in Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. We grow stronger when we allow others to help us to keep sharp. So if you're ready for more intentional accountability and want someone to help you stay motivated and consistent, that's exactly what I do with my one-on-one coaching. Reach out and let's start building that system and support that you need to follow through with your goals that you've set, and that you can be successful this time. So remember, goals without accountability often fade into frustration, but goals with accountability become reality. So don't just dream, follow through. Thanks for joining me this morning. Have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And remember, until then, you are made for more.